Y'all, so I wanted to come on right quickly. It's been raining all week, in fact. I'm just snug in the house. It's even a little chilly outside, surprisingly. And yeah, I am coming to you in my robe. But anyway, I'm just so excited about this project that me and my dad did together. Y'all, it was a team effort. My dad has gone back home. He's fully recovered. Thank you, Jesus. So, of course, he'll be back for a visit or whatever. But yeah, so he's finally gone back home. I wanted to tell you guys that in the project that I did, there is a change that I want to make to that space. I didn't get a chance to do it before posting this video. However, in the final reveal, I'm gonna go ahead and do like a little quick walkthrough, show you guys what it is I want to change, and probably in a couple of weeks I'll post like a little shorts maybe or something like that, or maybe in a video I'll just kind of show you guys you know, what I did basically. But yeah, I do want to just kind of touch a little bit about what it is I want to do different in that space. But the space turned out amazing. I absolutely love it. And keep in mind, y'all, even though my dad was assisting me with this project, y'all, this project could definitely be done by one person. And I'm a testament to that because I did a huge pergola in my backyard completely by myself. If you guys haven't seen that, I'll post the video for that. And I just feel like this is sort of kind of what that is, but 10 times easier. But anyway, just wanted to come on and just kind of touch base with you guys right quickly about what I'm going to be showing you at the end in terms of what it is I want to do different in that space. But in the meantime, let's jump right into today's video. All right, guys, so this is just a little clip of where we started initially with this project. This was in part one of the video. Just wanted to show you guys basically how I converted this fence panel into a garden gate door. And for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, I will be sure to link that video in the description, so then that way you guys can kind of play catch up. But in the meantime, we're going to pick up where we left off in part one with this door and the landscaping. Y'all, my dad trying to rough him the camera. So I am at the store. I am at Home Depot. Basically, trying to do the shopping for the area that's by the fence door, in terms of plants, trees, all that good stuff. I have something in mind that I want to do for that space. So now it's just about trying to make it come to fruition. So that's what we're doing. We're shopping for those plants and things. I know in that particular space it does not get a lot of sun, so I have to think more along the lines of part sun plants. So that's what I'm trying to do. Just kind of want to show you guys what I have in mind, what I'm thinking about doing. I definitely want to focus more so on perennial plants that's going to come back every year. That's the goal. I may incorporate a few annuals here and there just to kind of brighten the space and give it a little bit of color. But for the most part, we're trying to stick within the realm of perennial. So let's take a look and see what I have going so far. Here's a look at some of the plants that I am wanting to purchase. I'm definitely considering these gorgeous shade-loving hostas. These are so super cute. They're priced at $22.98. I absolutely love the stripes on these around the edges. I think these are so nice. I really love these. So I'm thinking I want to get one of these. And you guys may recall I already have some hostas planted in that area. I don't think I had this particular one with the pretty the white on the edge of the leaves. I don't think I had that. So I think that's going to be a really nice addition. So I think I want to get one of those. So I want to use some hostas, not a whole lot because I already have like I think a row of hostas going towards the end of that fence, but I definitely want to get that. I'm also considering one of these gorgeous sort of like I don't know, back in the day we used to call these elephant ears, but I think this is so cute. Now it says that these are annuals. I'm not sure if it will come back in my area or not. Normally when it says annual, it doesn't, but then sometimes depending on the plant, it will come back. So I love these gorgeous colors here. Look there, that one's coming out. So I'm not sure if I want to get, I definitely know I want to get at least one or two of these. Not sure what colors yet. I just have these placed in the buggy for right now. So let's take a look and see what else we can find. Now there goes my dad up ahead. Y'all, he's doing so well. He's actually going to be going back home this weekend. I told him I'm going to miss him, but he's been with me for about 2 months now. All right, so another plant or shrub I think I may want to actually add to there. And again, I'm trying to think along the lines of additional colors, something that's beautiful and vibrant that's going to come back every year. So I'm thinking about getting this gorgeous hydrangea right here. This is super cute. So this is part sun to part sun. And these are actually on sale at Home Depot. Their regular price $29.98, and they're on sale for $24.88. So I think I want to incorporate one of these. I'm not sure if I want to do the pink or if I want to do the white, the bobo. Well, this is so cute. Okay, so this is the Pinnacle Hydrangea. I don't know, y'all. Which one should I get? The reblooming big leaf hydrangea, the pink one, or should I do the white? Oh my goodness. You guys will see what I decide in the end, I guess. Another thing I want to do is I want to add some cedar trees. So I'm looking at these arborvitae, and these here, what I love about them, this is what they look like when they reach full maturity. Look how tall and slim that is. Because that is such a narrow area over there by the fence, I love the fact that these particular trees only get to be about 1 to 1.5 in width. Y'all, you can't beat that. Even though it gets to be about 15 to 20 feet tall, who cares? As long as the width is narrow, that's exactly what I need. So I think I want to go ahead and get at least about, and this is what it looks like, is this one right here. I want to get maybe about 2 or 3 of these trees, and they're currently priced at $32 each. All right, y'all, so I just made it back home from Home Depot. Got a few plants from there as well as Walmart. And there's a couple more that I saw that I want to pick up from Lowe's. I'll probably do that later on in the week. But let me show you guys what I have and just kind of what I'm thinking about doing for a layout with these plants and trees. So let's take a look. All right, so let's walk back to this area. And you can kind of see here, remember I told you guys last week how I added this additional fence board to replace the one that was rotting. And I started cutting it with my jigsaw and the battery died right here. So got that charging, but yeah, it looks pretty good. I just literally took out the screws from the old one and just replaced it, added the screws back once I added the new board. So once I get that cut, I'm going to go ahead and stain it. But in the meantime, and you can kind of see where this door leads in the backyard area. And I'm going to actually be, landscaping all of this, y'all. So I know it looks a mess right now, but all of this is going to be cleaned up. So anyway, this is the space I'm going to be working in. The plan is to actually add some beautiful cedar trees right here. I think I want to do 3 trees, a tree here, and the trees I have, they're the ones that actually they only get to be about 1 to 1.5 feet in width, so not that wide, which is perfect because in between each one I want to add a beautiful hydrangea bush, which I think is going to really make the space pop and just make it beautiful. And you can kind of see here I already have a row of hostas right here and some other plants. And now this is the space I'm a little unsure about what I want to do here. And let me kind of make the screen a little bit bigger so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So this area right here, this is where I have my azalea bushes and some running vines. And so I'm still debating on what I want to do here. I feel like I want to trim this azalea back, just kind of just this piece here, just cut this back to just kind of widen the opening a little bit. And then I think I want to also plant a few bushes or shrubs or whatever alongside this area here as well. So I'm going to keep the azalea bush. I'm just going to trim it up nice and neat, so then that way it's not hanging out into the space here. So that's the plan. That's what I'm thinking about. Let me show you guys right quickly what I want to do in terms of a layout though with the plants and trees. You guys can kind of see why I want to cut this hedge to open up this little walkway space even more. Because of the trees and the hedges, I definitely want to have a nice clear pathway to this door. So I'm definitely going to chop this azaleas in half. Again, I'm going to keep the bush. I'm just going to trim it up really, really nice to further open up this walkway space. But from the side on the picket fence, here's what the trees look like. What I may do is, I think I'm going to bring it all the way down to the end of this mulch here. And I think that's going to look really, really nice. These beautiful hydrangeas, these are going to spread. These are going to get nicer, larger, more wider, which is perfect, which is also another reason why I need to open up this walkway even more. So this is what it looks like from this side as you come into the front yard space. So far, I really, really love this. It's minimal, but it's just enough. And then I think it flows well with what I currently have over here in this garden bed. So I really, really like that. Now, once I've trimmed or chop off this azaleas, just kind of trim it up or whatever, on this side, what I want to do, I have a couple more plants that I want to add. I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. But first, I want to get started with cleaning up this area, trimming back these hedges, and just getting everything in this space nice and cleaned. So like I told you guys before, it's been raining non-stop for the past few weeks, and you can see here the leaves are soaking wet. So it's a really nasty mess back here. I had to actually pull out my metal rake to rake them up because, again, the leaves are wet, which makes them a lot heavier to really rake up. And when it's like this, I normally don't use the yard trash bags to put the leaves in. I'll usually just rake them up, put them on the side of the road for trash pickup day. So that's what I'm in the process of doing right now, is just cleaning all of this up, and then in a little later you'll also see me pulling up the weeds as well. All right, y'all, so it's after 7:20 p.m. and I just wanted to show you guys my progress so far. Y'all, I just want to mention that it's been raining like a monsoon. I'm telling you, rain every single day. So anytime I find a little break in the weather, I try to jump out here and try and get a little bit of work done. But you can see here, I've cleaned up all the leaves. I've pulled up all the weeds. Whew. So the only thing I want to do now, I want to go ahead and add some preen weed preventer to this entire space. I want to do that first before adding any type of weed barrier like cardboard or maybe my weed tarp. And I'm thinking I might add the weed tarp in this space only because I don't have any cardboard. And at this late in the project, I really just don't have time to go out looking for any. So I'm just going to go ahead and use what I have already on hand, which is the weed tarp. So yeah, so you can kind of see how open up the space is after I trim back that azaleas hedge or whatever, it really opened up the space tremendously after doing that. So that gives me a lot of options for plants. I want to do my little walkway here. So yeah, I'm excited. So what I think I'm going to do next is go ahead right quickly and see how much I can do with getting the weed tarp down tonight. If I can't, no biggie. I'll just pick up where I left off from on tomorrow. But yeah, this is the plan. Here's where we're at so far. I'm standing in the inside of the door. And so looking out, this is what you basically see right now. So nothing to do but to get it done. I'm gonna keep this little area here bushy. I kind of like how that looks actually. It just kind of looks natural. Just having these vines and the bushes here. Yeah, so I do like how that looks. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started with adding our tarp. So like I mentioned before adding the tarp, I wanted to put down a little bit of the preen weed preventer. And of course, I will be watering this in, and I will do that part later. All right, y'all, so I went ahead and just kind of measured out the weed tarp to see if I had enough for the walkway. I want to extend the walkway all the way out to the edge of the flower bed, which I think is going to look perfect. I'm not going to have it this wide, however, because remember, this is just, this is not an area I'm going to be using that frequently, honestly. But I just want to have just a nice little quaint kind of walkway that gives it just a nice little cottage feel, nothing, too big, too extreme. I want to keep it nice and soft. So I just wanted to kind of measure out the weed tarp just to kind of make sure I had enough to carry all the way out to the end of the flower bed. But I'm not going to add any rocks or anything like that or any gravel in this area because as you guys saw earlier, this space gets tons of leaves. And having to deal with rocks and leaves is not a good mix. I rather deal with mulch in this space instead. And again, I want to keep this area nice and soft and lush, not using a whole lot of hardscapes like the rocks or whatever. I'm just going to continue out my stepping stones in this space, and I'm probably going to just kind of just use the mulch as a base around it. So that's what I want to do. And I do want to mention that I went ahead and water in, or I plan to water in the the preen weed preventer. I just haven't done it yet, but I'm probably not going to do it until I add my mulch on top and everything else and just give everything a nice deep soaking. And again, I don't have to give it that much of a soaking because granted, it's been raining nonstop anyway. So yeah, just wanted to point that out because I know you have to activate the preen weed preventer by watering it in. And trust me, it got more than enough water from the rain. All right, y'all, so it is the next day and I just got off from work and thankfully my dad had already dug the holes for each of these plants. You can kind of see that they're just sitting in the hole right now while still in the pots. And so I'm taking them out the pot and just kind of, putting them in the ground and everything. And I did mix the soil with some of the Stay Green soil and fertilizer. I always love to do that. I think this fertilizer feeds plants for up to 9 months. So that's what I'm in the process of doing right now is just planting all these flowers, all these shrubs and trees and getting everything in the ground. And not sure if you can tell, but it is currently raining outside. Okay, so I'm on the opposite side of the gate here, and I wanted to add some flowering over here by this azalea shrub as well. Just something to just kind of I don't know, just kind of enclose and make this little walkway area really, really nice and lush leading up to the gate door. So I do have these beautiful plants here. This is a gorgeous hosta. I really love how this looks, and I've already dug the hole for it. I'm going to put it right over here, right up near the gate fence. And also, or the door fence, I should say. I also have a couple of coral bells. I have one here, I have one here, and then I have another hosta here that's about to bloom. I bet that's going to be pretty. And then I have this beautiful plant here. I'm not sure what this is. I remember back in the day they used to call these elephant ears. But let me see what the tag says. But I absolutely love the colors on these. And I think I showed you guys these before when I was shopping for them. So yeah, so Chinook, I think is how you pronounce it. So anyway, I want to add some color over here as well. So I think that would look so super cute with the coral bells. So that's what I think I want to do. I kind of think I have it laid out the way I want it to. Just kind of, you know, not too close, but then again, close enough. So yeah, so that's what I think I want to do, is just kind of put these here. I think that's going to look super cute. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with adding these in the ground and just kind of going from there. Okay, y'all, so as you can see, I am back in Lowe's because I thought about something else I wanted to add to that door that's just gonna really make it pop, make it stand out. I'm not gonna tell you guys what it is. I'm gonna see if you guys can guess it as I start to build it. But I'm excited because I think it's gonna just really just kind of give it that garden cottage feel. And I'm just, oh, gosh, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it at this point. So I'm here picking up the boards for it. I'll make sure to have all of these items linked in the description. So let's get to it. Okay, so I'm about to start this little project here, me and my dad. So we actually went out and got two 2x4s that were 8 feet in length. We actually cut one side of the 2x4s in the shape of a stake because we're going to be driving these in the ground as our support. So these are going to be our little support boards. We're not going to dig any holes. We're not going to pour any concrete. We are literally going to drive these in the ground using a hammer. So you guys can see here that when my dad starts bamming the 2x4 in the ground, and luckily because of all the rain, the ground was soft enough to be able to do this. And once we drove it in the ground about a feet, we also went in and added 3-inch screws to further secure the 2x4 to the fence panel. And this added additional support to the 2x4. So here's a quick look at what those 2x4s look like after my dad drove them in the ground using the hammer. And again, don't forget, we're going to secure this even more by adding 3-inch screws to these 2x4s. But again, this required no digging and no concrete. And if I failed to mention, all of the wood materials that I'm using is weather treated. So now I'm in the process of cutting a 45-degree angle on the end of two 1-inch by 6-inch 8 feet boards. All right, so I went ahead and cut some little pickets here. These are about 1 feet in length to go across it. So that's all I did here. So now I'm getting ready to hang everything. So what I did was I used my brad nail gun to secure one side of it, this side way over here, and then that way we're going to make sure that this side is even with that before we start adding the screws. So you guys will notice that I actually cut 2 of these boards in the same length to put on opposite sides of the 2x4. Then I screwed both of these boards into the 2x4 using 2-inch deck screws. So last but not least, I'm using my brad nail gun with 1.5-inch brad nails to secure these little pickets at the top. So I know it's pretty late right now. It's actually after 9:30 p.m., but I really wanted to try to wrap this project up. So I'm in the process of adding my mulch, and after this, I have one more additional step to complete this entire project. So I was able to snag some broken and chipped pieces of stepping stones from Home Depot. They were about to put them in the garbage, so I asked if I could have them. And so this is what I'm planning to do with these little broken chipped stepping stone pieces. And just for clarification, what I'm doing is actually moving the mulch aside and settling these little broken pieces of stepping stone on top of the weed tarp and then just surrounding it with the mulch. So then that way it's actually laying flush with the mulch. All right, y'all, so before the final reveal, let's take it back a little bit and be reminded as to what this entire space looked like before we transformed the fence into a garden gate door. Remember, this was just a fence panel that we completely cut out a part of it to make a door. We also had to clean up this area to provide a beautiful, lush, and cottage feel landscape. And I think we pretty much accomplished all that. So without further ado, let's take a look at the final reveal. So right quickly, I want to show you what I plan to change or update in this space. So the little pergola piece that me and my dad added, what I want to do is I want to remove the 2x4 right here, and I want to place it directly behind this post here, this fence post, because I kind of feel like it makes the door look a little offset being away from the post. So that's one of the things I want to do differently. And the reason I didn't do it initially was because excuse the mess, y'all. So right behind this post, I have this little block of 2x4 with a little hook for one of my latches. And then here's the other latch with the little wire that I just pulled. So those were actually centered directly behind the post, and you can see it here. So what I plan to do later on is I'm going to remove this cap here, which I should have done anyway because it's broken. And I want to remove this little piece of 2x4 along with this one, and then I'm going to move this 2x4 here and center it directly behind this post, and then go and add the latch and everything directly to the 2x4 once it's centered behind the post. So that's the only thing I want to do different. I just, like I mentioned before, I just felt like after after me and my dad completed the project, it just kind of looked off-center to me. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that was the one thing that kind of stood out for me. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you think that is fine just the way it is, or if you agree that I need to shift that 2x4 over and have it centered directly behind this post, even though that's going to mean that the little top portion is going to hang off a little bit more on both sides, which is completely fine. I just want to make sure that it's a nice centered, because I just feel like it looks a little offsetting a little bit with this door because of that post actually. So that's the plan. That's what I plan to do. And when I do that, I'm gonna of course move this light fixture here and attach it to the post instead. So that's the plan, y'all. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. But anyway, it's not that big of a deal because, again, this is a space that I'm not going to even be using like that. But I mean, still, I want it to look cute, right? So that's what I'm planning to do. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys. So that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and y'all hype this video. Hype it, okay? And let me know in the comments your thoughts, what you thought of the project, of the process, everything. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you guys really, really soon in my next video. Until then, bye.